Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the TheCivShow podcast, where we suck so you don't have to. I'm your host, Moises,
Raising Zozo.
And Nystagmus.
and we have a few huge announcements for you, but we're gonna have to wait for the biggest one until the very end, so that you have a reason to listen to the whole episode. Or if you're really smart, you'd skip right to the very end. But you shouldn't do that, because you should listen to the whole episode. Am I right? Yeah.
Do not turn to another channel.
I'm being told, do not turn to another channel.
But let's talk about a few little announcements. We've done the Civ Give draft. There's a video on that on YouTube right now. And there's also a reaction video that Van Bradley did. I recommend you check out both of those videos. We're going to be doing an analysis on the draft in the second half of this show. Then we also released a new series on our YouTube called Civ 6 from Different Perspectives. It's the three of us, Zoe, Nystagmus, and myself, playing the exact same map with the exact same settings and the exact same civilization on Deity, unless you're Nystagmus. And how do we play? How do the three of us react given the exact same scenario? Does one flee? Does one fight? How would you react? Tell us what you think in the comment section on YouTube. Whew. That's pretty good, wasn't it? That was a good slew of announcements.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah, all right. See you later. Yeah,
everybody.
See you on Sunday.
All right. Those are the little ones, guys. Believe it or not, those are the little ones. But let's talk about Sunday. Why don't someone else take us through? Because I just talked for a whole while.
Sunday. All I remember about Sunday is when Moy got all grumpy.
What?
Because me and Van Bradley were having fun with each other.
You mean when Van Bradley started screaming at you?
He didn't scream at me.
There was a lot of grumpiness to go around, to be honest. So.
I wasn't grumpy. I was joking around. So yeah, Sunday's game was we still got to work out these games. I think it would have been better if we had declared ahead of time 2 games, do it in 2 rounds, because culture is very long-winded. But it was a culture fight to the death, or to the most highest culture at the end of the night.
It was a culture nation, culture domination. So culture nation.
Culture nation.
If only Eleanor was in that game, that would have been, I think, very intimidating.
We
might be in the Civ Give.
Might be in the Civ Give. More on that later.
Might be. We did a vector draft where each of us got to choose our favorite Civ for culture, and then we did a random shuffle to say who was who. I chose Gull. Moy drew Gull. I believe Moy chose Bull Moose, and Nystagmus got Bull Moose. No,
Van Bradley.
Van Bradley got Bull Moose. Nystagmus chose
Cyrus
and got Cyrus.
Yep.
Right. And then Van Bradley chose Pericles, and I got Pericles.
That was the first time you played Pericles in a long time, right? I think that's what you said.
Ever on the TheCivShow.
Yeah.
Ever on the TheCivShow.
How did that feel? Because you had some words for Pericles, right?
I liked it. I was Owls of Minerva with Pericles, so I had most of the city-states on my side. The problem, though, that I found near the end, and this was like where I had my I think I have a nuke here, because I thought it was going to really change the game, was when I got flight, and then I realized that my tourism did jump up, and I was in second place, but all my trade wasn't with you guys. My trade was with city-states, and I don't think tourism gives a crap about city-states.
No.
So that ultimately was a wah-wah moment for me, where I realized that flight wasn't going to be so spectacular. Maybe if I had had more trade routes with you guys, it would have been a different story. But yeah, flight wasn't the silver bullet for me, and Moy ended up taking it. There's a lot of fighting in that game.
There was a lot of fighting in that game. A ridiculous amount. Yeah, that's what Van Bradley was saying the whole time. He's like, you guys wanted to play a culture game. What's going on?
Now, and here's my response to that when people said that, right? Which is, if you're gonna just say like, okay, only culture victory, well then like that clearly heavily favors someone if you just play SimCity mode, right? Like some civs have clear advantages, and like even though we can't win by domination, we can at least use domination to like stop you from winning, which is what Moy did, right? Moy used that to stop Van Bradley from winning, which is perfectly legitimate. And so people are like, oh, there's a lot of fighting. I'm like, yeah, well, either someone already started a snowball halfway down the hill than I did, and I just watched the snowball continue to get bigger until it's a boulder, or I shoot the snowball, right? Like you do one of the two things, and once someone already gets far enough ahead, like if you didn't stop Van Bradley, he was going to just run away with it, right?
Yeah.
Like there was no way we could catch up, right? And culture victory is one of those things where it will continue to snowball, right? When someone is completely dominating the game, it will continue to get, the gap just gets wider. It doesn't, there's no way to just catch up without an external force, Moy, bringing down the hammer and stopping the gap from getting wider, right? So I know people say like a lot of fighting, but like that was inevitable. If you limit a lot of other options, like I can't just tech my way out, right? I can't get to a science victory first, or I can't get to a religious victory first. So the only other option is to fight to stop someone from getting better.
That's exactly right. How do you stop somebody from winning a culture victory? You kill them.
Yeah,
The only way. You can't out culture somebody who's already pushed the ball down the hill. Or you know what I mean? Like, because culture is that exactly that game. It's like you just slowly build up your snowball and you let it go, you let it go, and you let it go. Once it's so far ahead, like once somebody has 200 tourism, you know how hard it is to build up 200 tourism per turn. Like that's a long time and a long process. But you know it's a quick process.
But
clicking
I know, but
city.
the reason why it gets harder and harder is that the more tourism someone develops, the more they draw from you.
Yes.
Right. So it's like they're almost like Death Eaters. They just like keep drawing more power from you, and it's hard for you to make your own power if someone keeps stealing it from you. Right. Like
now, and with that game, I like due to generous donations, the outcome of that game was completely changed because in one of Moy's characteristic. When he go to the bathroom, I'm going to tell everybody about the treachery that's about to happen. Moves. He did it. He attacked Van Bradley, and Van Bradley was totally unprepared for war with Moy. And he begged Moy to declare peace, and then an auction kind of happened where Van Bradley made, I think, a $20 donation to the Civ Give, and this will probably be a Sunday feature moving forward. And like I might like next time just be really aggressive if we have a guest. I'm gonna go to war with a guest. And I'm gonna see if we can milk this guest for a Civ Give donation.
Wow, you're
but
awful.
anyways, that hey, it's for a good cause. I'm awful.
Yeah,
I'm awful. Like you literally spoke about, because you were supposed to be friends and allies. You said the treaty, our friendship just came to an end. Oh, I'm gonna go to war with him. Watch this, everybody.
Different intent. Here's my intent. I want him to not win the game. Here's your intent. Come on the Civ Show. You have to pay $20 to be featured on the Civ Show. What the heck?
No,
is that
I'm saying that it's a legit strategy.
Oh,
it worked. It worked. Right?
Yeah,
it worked.
It did.
You backed off, and it changed the outcourse of the game. So it's fine. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious that it worked. I would have liked if we had the stakes got raised, or for the war to escalate in our culture game. And the funny thing is, Van Bradley didn't even end up winning.
No,
he was third, I think, for culture. He was third place for culture.
His city that had Machu Picchu got raised by the city-state that I was allied with.
Funny.
Yeah.
That was good.
And so he's like, I basically paid $20 for the city not to get raised, and it got raised. It was for the kids, though. It was great.
It was for the kids. It was violence for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the other edge, you, Moy, and Van Bradley had, especially over Nystagmus and myself, is that we still don't get culture victory. Like, it is, I think, the most complicated of the victory conditions.
Yeah.
You understand it a little bit better. Van Bradley clearly has mastery of it. And he was telling us, like, he wasn't saying the mistakes we were making, but it was aliens.
So there's a little bit that goes into it. And part of it, one, is kind of looping back to the whole war thing, when you go to war and you're trying to win a culture victory, that hurts you. Grievances hurt you in tourism and everything like that. And also just whatever government you choose also matters. So if you have different governments, the tourism drops to another country. So if I have oligarchy and you have autocracy, those are two governments that just don't, like, they're different, and so that happens. Also, if you have oligarchy versus merchant republic, or whatever the first tier one is for the two economic ones, or here's a better example. If you have merchant republic over democracy, democracy actually gives you less tourism, whereas merchant republic gives you more tourism, or rather, it doesn't hurt your tourism. It's kind of weird. And then same with the third one. If you have, I think it's democracy. I think democracy increases your tourism, whereas like fascism would obviously decrease it. There's a lot of little things that like kind of go into these tourism bonuses, and you can see it when you actually go to the culture win screen and you highlight over like where your tourists are coming from. It tells you the, I guess, the debuffs that happen, like all the choices that you're making and all the debuffs that are happening onto your tourism. So next time you're into that screen, or next time you try to do a culture victory, look into that. And it's part of the reason why I wanted to do that kind of game, just to kind of like make sure you guys understand really how to get to a culture victory, or like how significant it is, what you need to do, stuff like that. So that was part of the reason why I kind of wanted to do that kind of game. Hopefully it helped you guys.
And it was interesting. I would like, next time if we're gonna do a culture, or say maybe diplomatic, or even scientific, we'll plan ahead and say, okay, we know this will be a two-parter, because like I felt like near the end, like we're just getting rolling, like we're just now where culture gets interesting, and that's when we had to wrap up. Well, actually, I forced Moy to play another hour.
Yeah, it was late, dude. That was a long. When I exported that YouTube video and it said it was 6 hours, I'm like, oh my god, no one's gonna watch this thing. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I don't know, like, because we stopped at like midnight, didn't we?
We stopped
12:30,
12:30 or 12:40.
How was it 6 hours? If we started at 7, 8,
yeah, but
9,
we ended
10,
stream.
11,
we
12.
like ended stream at like 1 because we talked.
Oh, because we talked.
We technically ended
We
the game
had
at like
to talk.
12:40, and that's when I finally put my foot down. I'm like, okay, listen, it's past 12:30. Like, I gotta go to bed. This needs to end.
You don't have Van Bradley on the show if you're not ready to talk for half an hour. All right. About
I'm not
nothing.
complaining about that. That's not what I'm saying. Van Bradley's a terrific guest.
He was a pretty fantastic guest, for sure.
I'm kind of curious about how Persia, like I don't understand personally how Persia is into a culture victory. I know they have their palisades, but apart from that, what makes them good with?
They get culture for every trade route.
Oh, do they? Oh, I didn't know that. What's the exact number for that? Do you know?
It's like 1 or 2
per international trade route, or every trade route, or domestic.
It's every you get culture for every trade route.
Oh, so that just helps you with just culture, not necessarily tourism, but I guess it like emphasizes the fact that you need or you want more trade routes. Am I right?
Yeah. Let me pull up the actual.
So I can tell you exactly. Grants +1 trade route capacity, and then domestic trade routes give you gold and culture.
Culture, yeah. So it's domestic trade route.
That's interesting. It's your domestic, so you don't even need. See though,
wow.
but
so domestic gives you food,
trade
production, gold, and culture. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and those paradisias, like they can be pretty good, right? Like they get adjacency bonuses for theater squares, holy sites, commercial hubs, and city centers, and they give you an additional culture when you get diplomatic service, right? So, and you can spam them. I think they're pretty. Where can they can be built on?
Cannot be built on tundra or snow tile. So pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere. Yeah, they can be built anywhere.
Can they be built beside each other, or is that a restriction?
That's the only limitation. They can't be built right next to each other. Yeah. And so you can, like, when you plan out like where your theater squares are and stuff like that, you could just build the paradisias like around them and get all this free culture. And so because they're, you get them pretty early, and yeah, so that's the reason why they can kind of be a culture sip. They're not like a heavy hitter culture sip, but remember, we were banning like the heavy hitters, right?
Yeah, like Russia and Sweden, because those are like the two super early culture game civs, and I felt like that would have been no fun if one of us got them.
And
just kind of like,
I'm going to be 100% honest. I picked Persia because I kind of felt like even though we're going to do like culture game, there's going to be a whole lot of war.
somebody picked Gaul. I mean, I didn't do it.
So
Gull is legit a culture civ.
By building
Just
a military zone.
Building armies gets you culture. Okay, so yeah, that gets you culture. Building mines gets you culture, and then the huge production. You're gonna have all the wonders you need for a culture victory.
And that's exactly what happened.
You know,
you're gonna have all the wonders you
about
need.
a culture victory though is that the math is so complicated. I almost like don't buy it whenever anyone's like winning or something like that, right? Like I'm almost like weird. I'm like, who's counting the tourism? How is this all being calculated? It's
There
just
is an
a
equation. There's an equation.
I know.
It is my least favorite win condition is culture victory.
Really?
Yeah, I find it frustrating.
Not diplomatic? Oh.
I like diplomatic victory. I actually, because it makes sense. It's a very clear cut. You build a wonder, gives you diplomatic points. You do get a congress, you get diplomatic points. You do specific things, you get diplomatic points. The goal is to get 20. Go. There is no your 7 turns from victory goes away. It's just a very cut, dry, simple.
And the one thing I would ask, and if Carl's in chat, like this is kind of like to the developers as well, is stop like having a weird calculator where it tells someone they're gonna win in 5 turns when it's just gonna go away. Like maybe fix because it gets confusing when that happens.
He explained that, I remember like a while ago. And basically, if someone were to get a massive boost in tourism, aka they get flight, or they build a massive wonder that gives them a ton of tourism, that boost thinks the game thinks you're getting that every turn. And so if it's assuming that, that's when it says, okay, you have 5 turns to win at this pace, at the pace that you got last turn.
The only thing that tells me is that then that widget is broken, right? It's almost like saying like I have a compass, and if I turn too fast, the compass will just point in an opposite direction and think I'm going that way, right? Whereas just you got to fix the compass. Because it does that all the time, I never use that to calculate when someone is ever winning the game, right? Because whenever you see it, you're always assuming it's doing that, right? It's like assuming that the tourism that someone got was from a boost of a new tech or a new civic or a new constructed wonder or something like that. Even when you start using rock bands, it starts calculating that you're going to win because it assumes what you got from the rock bands in that instant is like forever, right? And so the overall like turn victory counter is fundamentally at that point not very useful because it almost is never believable under most circumstances. Does that make sense? Right? Because the game, what pushes you over the finish line is usually the rock bands in the late game, right? And so at that point, I guess they should just have a calculator that gives it a little bit easier for us and take it from there. That's my kind of spiel about that.
And it is a very long-winded victory condition. Like arguably the most long-winded victory condition is culture. So that makes it a little harder for us to explore on the Civ show. Like in the new year, like don't get me wrong, Civ is a complex game, and I think we do a service when we play these because most of us don't know exactly how it works, and it makes us better. I never really explored certain wonders, for instance, ones that gave you like plus 100% tourism outpost, but there's a couple now that do that, right? For relics or for what have you. Same thing with some of the civics, the policy cards. I never really paid attention to them before, or even what you just said about the government mixes. But that's also why I hate it so much, is there's such a cluster F of overlapping, this and this, and I get it. Civ pros, they, it's like getting all your numbers lined up. It's like watching one of our guests build cities. They're like, wow, you really know how to rank those numbers up. Whereas, like, you guys know, I'm an organic, messy player. I just sort of, part of it is just my throwing my weight around.
Yeah, like, you explain that in the new series Civ 6 from different perspectives. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. It's really good.
It's good.
Ultimately, I just think compared to the other victory conditions, it's the culture victory condition is just very complicated, and the math behind it, like I get it. Like if it's too simple, then it's just too easy to achieve. And so I know why it's complicated the way it is, like especially with the tourism, because everyone thinks like the culture per turn is like, no, it's actually the tourism. That's what nabs you the victory, right? And so there's just the math behind the tourism and it gets more complicated the more players there are in the game, right?
Especially if they're all trying to win culture. That makes it really hard.
Really hard, yes.
But it's also very broken if no one's going culture, and then like that's it, you're snowballing, and that's where you better conquer me quickly because too bad, guys. Like you waited too long. You can't catch up. You literally have to wipe me out now.
But it's
and
crazy.
So yeah.
Go ahead, Ashley. Go ahead.
No, just that's the only kind of gripe about it. I think it's a really cool victory condition, like the idea behind it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I like the idea behind all the victory conditions. I don't think any of them are particularly broken or boring or anything like that. Like I know everyone doesn't like the diplomatic victory. That's actually a lot more fun in the multiplayer game. I know that in the multiplayer game it's a lot harder to achieve, but like trying to guess what other people are going to vote for and then go for it. And then people can vote against you, but at some point, if you build up enough diplomatic favor, the goal behind a diplomatic victory is low key build up those points, right? Almost no one pays attention to it because no one goes for it.
Yeah.
And then save up diplomatic favor so that even when it gets to the point where they can start voting to give you less diplomatic points, you can just overpower them, right? Because that can happen.
And
then at some point, you can even say my victory is there's nothing you guys can do. I'm going to win. Right. And that point, or you wait until you get to within 4, build Statue of Liberty, and then just try and win the game.
Yeah.
And so,
But if people are voting you down, you can just vote for that. Then you get the 1 point for being in favor, and then you lose the 2, but you only lose 1, and then you can get the other 2 right, and that's an overall +1. And look at that.
Yeah.
You're totally fine. And in that point of the game, you have like the World Fair, and you have all those kind of games, and those give you diplomatic points as well.
And those are big deal though. They're like, those are a big deal. So like, I think I like the diplomatic, like that you see it coming a little more, and it's just like I don't know, it's cut and dry. This is how you win diplomatic victory, and like you have to your play style gets affected as well because you can't take capitals. All right, so even if you have war, that war is I'm not taking over your capital ever. Okay. And you want to make sure that city-states are protected and stay alive. You want to get those diplomatic favor.
Is why, to be honest, to be fair, I know we go about this, like the whole tier list is blah, 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 right? But that's why like a lot of people like, poo-poo Canada in the game. But like they're like perfectly geared for diplomatic victory. They can't kill city-states, right?
Yeah.
So that you need city-states to stay in the game. So the idea is to go for something that gives you Caesareanship over as many as possible. No one can declare a surprise war on you, right? Mm-hmm. When they denounce you and things like that, you can use that to your advantage, right? Because 1, a war is coming. 2, you can start building up those other reasons for grievances. And if they denounce you and they don't have a good reason to fight you, like a protectorate war, a religious war, things like that, they still get a lot of grievances, and it hurts if they're especially going for culture victory. That hurts them. Mm-hmm. And so attacking Canada might be like something you can do technically and kill them, but it hurts you in the long run too. So like Canada can like low key just glide under the radar like they do in real life, and and build up like those Caesareanships, those diplomatic favors. They can low key, they're more geared for the culture game in the late game. I get that, but throughout the whole game, the abilities they have at the very beginning is really for building up that diplomatic points, right? So that people are kind of forced to deal with them at the end of the day. That's why Canada is a middle power, like it's considered a middle power, because even though we don't have a lot of hard or soft power, we have like this diplomatic kind of core that allows us to kind of curry favor, right? And it's a really cool like mechanic how you try to guess how everyone else is like, oh, I know, and it actually, you need to have a good spy game with Canada.
Yeah.
Because if you know what everyone else is doing, then you kind of know what they're going to vote for, right? Oh, I know what Russia versus Moy has. He's going to vote for first because he has to. And so you can just like pick someone and then just boost them so you can get the diplomatic points, right? You sacrifice something that would help you, but you get the points in the end, right? Yeah. So I really like that mechanic, that it's really cool, I think, as a victory. It's an underrated victory condition, I think.
And I think the War of Protectorate, the Cassia Belli War of Protectorate, I think it's 0 grievance.
It's correct,
think.
yes.
So that's an advantage for the diplomatic player that like really I'm not going to conquer you. I'm going to protect the city states and I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to make sure you don't kill the city states. And that's cool because that is diplomatic, right? You're trying to you're basically the peacekeeper. That's what you're trying to do. That's why if Canada, they need to have a unit that represents peacekeeping and isn't a goddamn police unit. Okay, mind my French.
What do you mean?
No more.
Police unit. What the heck? What's going on? A police unit.
Carl!
Come on.
Why, Carl?
Come on.
Come on.
Carl.
And,
come on, Carl.
Forgot my old
Give
password.
us something else.
Has a good point too, right? Like, do you know that Goddess of the Hunt exists? Because most of the resources in the tundra is improved by camps.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I honestly, I know at the beginning we kind of did I'm kind of glad our tier list kind of went to the wayside. Like early on, guys, we used to do a tier list on the podcast, and I kind of now lean more towards like Zoe's kind of philosophy on this is that it's really not very useful. Right? Like it depends on the situation. Now, obviously, there are some civs that are just easier to play, and their abilities are more complementary. Yeah, their abilities are more complementary to each other.
Starting place doesn't matter with some civs, where like Canada does, you know.
Yeah.
But they get a start bias, right?
Yeah.
Well, knowing my luck for the Civ give with no rerolls, I'm going to get Canada and I'm going to spawn in jungle. Like that's what's going to happen.
No, but then you get you get Sacred Path and you got adjacency to jungle.
I got the same worry, okay, with the Mali because they like it's right now that's what it's although we'll talk about that when we get to it. Let's wrap this up.
Let's save that.
So either way, I do want to explore culture victory more in the future, and I think in the new year when we like I want to explore all of them. Don't get me I like this idea. I like the idea of like we're all going diplomatic, we're all going scientific. One day we'll all go domination, and I like having the guest on as well to reflect on what we're doing wrong, because most of our guests are way better at the game than we are, and that'll be a common theme for some of the other segments coming up, how terrible we are, but. It's fun. It's fun exploring them and just seeing the limits, and you learn so much along the way. So all in all, interesting. Moy, obviously, during the game, I had beefs with like what the win conditions were because like it was kind of defined, but like culture is like when hey, I didn't see it in writing anywhere. I don't remember it in writing.
Then listen back to the VOD, man. It was there.
All in words.
There's proof.
All in words. But I couldn't visualize the win condition.
Okay.
I should have clarified with you beforehand how we're judging this. At least with like something like diplomatic, we can literally say whoever has the most diplomatic points is the winner at the end of the game. Yeah. Culture is a little harder to determine that racehorse. For a bunch of reasons. But anyways, it was cool, and I am looking forward to exploring some of these other victory conditions, especially with the vector draft, which is going to become a new thing.
Yeah, no, I like it. I really enjoy it. But I'm sure even for maybe what we have next week, maybe it's going to complement this, maybe it's not. We have no idea, but we'll find out in the second half, which we will get to right after the break. So don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the TheCivShow podcast, where us three suck so you don't have to. Very well displayed in Civ 6 from different perspectives. You can see all three of us suck very badly. Who sucks the most? That's a great question, and you should find that out yourself on YouTube at TheCivShow. Let's talk about the Civ Give draft, boys. So, what is... I've heard this name before, but I don't know what it is. It just keeps slipping my mind. What is the Civ Give? I don't get it.
You know, I looked it up today on Wikipedia and it wasn't there. So I had to do some investigating, some sleuthing, but I've unlocked the truth. Apparently, on December 20th, which is in like a few weeks now, 3 weeks from now, less than that, some of the greatest champions and some of the least great champions of the civilization community will be coming together in a free-for-all battle royale to raise funds for Extra Life, which will put the money towards local sick kid hospitals. I believe the goal of this Civ Give is $5,000 that they're trying to raise, and there are lots of ways that you can get involved. Right now, one of the, I think, kind of fun ways to get involved is we have a draft that's going on, and you can actually siphon funds via spies, or clicking, to get extra votes for the civs you want to see. So each of the 9 hosts, we did an interesting draft that we'll talk about in a moment, but you can vote for the civ you want to see us play, and you can pay a little extra. Make a donation to Extra Life, and we'll have other things like that. But yeah, the goal is $5,000, a big 9-player game of Civ here on Twitch, December 20th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there and be square.
Someone shows up in January. Where's the Civ Give? Where's the Civ Give?
Like I think right now you can see. Right now we have right there on the thing. We've got 130 raised. If you're on right now and you feel like being awesome, go ahead and make a donation.
Actually, that is just for our page. If you go to the team page, there's significantly more than 135. We've so far raised $459 in how many days? 1, 2. What day is it today? The 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 days. 4 days. $459. That's not bad. It's not bad. Long way to go, but that's
and okay. Like the game day itself, we'll have variety hour stuff.
For sure.
Where we try to raise the stakes. We're going to have all sorts of wacky ways that you can add rules and stuff like that if you want to make a donation. So, yeah, Civ Give 2020. Stay tuned. It's going to be great. So we have who's all part of it?
Who's all part of it?
Remember Moy?
For sure. We have the last guest we had on, Vamp Bradley. He's going to be in the Civ Give. We have multiplayer expert on Spot TV. We have the nicest man in the world, Foibles. We got the bearded boy himself, Bostius. We have the balding man, Peppermint Butler, and Moy Sauce. And then we also have, raising Zozo, Nystagmus, and the man, the myth, the legend, 100 games, 100 days, Sarge.
Mad Max himself.
Freddie Mercury doppelganger, am I right? That guy looks exactly like him. And he's even doing, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you probably missed it. But if you're listening to this live, 100 Games in 100 Days is doing a Queen... wait, is it Queen? Oh shoot.
Yeah, it's Queen.
Yeah, it's Queen. He's doing a Queen song repertoire on Twitch Sings on Saturday, or I guess it'll be Friday for us. Friday, December the 4th at 7 p.m. I think Eastern. So you should go check him out if you're live here. Go follow him, actually. He's a good dude. And he's featured on the Civ Give. Those are all the guests. Let's go through the draft, though. Let's go through the results. Let's have an analysis. Let's talk about who do you think has the best draft. Why don't we start with not us? Let's go last, okay? Let's start at the top. Let's start at the tippity top.
You could probably just skip me because we all know my draft. With
No,
just
no. You don't get skipped.
For-
No. You're in
for
this.
giggles.
You drafted. People are gonna pay to put tickets in your bucket. You're in this. Okay. Let's start with Bose. Bose, the 9th overall pick, but he got 2 picks in a row, and he has, I think, a wonderful draft. First, he picked Poundmaker, the Kree. He followed that up with Persia and Cyrus. Fantastic picks, those two. And then his last pick was Gorgo and Greece. Slipped that far down the list. How do you guys feel about this culture and military mix draft that he's got going on here? Are you threatened by anything, or which one would you want to see over others, etc., etc.?
Well, so
I think
quickly, I'd like to quickly mention the bands because we banned a bunch of this, right?
True. You have like the full results?
I got them all here. So we used the Zozo system of third realm cards to do this all, and so it was a snaking draft where we each got 1 ban and got to choose 3 civs, and the way that we did it was the first person would pick, I believe it was Foibles was number 1, and then we went right across, and then each person would pick a ban, and then we'd each pick a civ. So we did, first round was 9 civs got banned. So I have here Byzantium. I banned Byzantium. 100 Games banned Grand Colombia. Peppermint Butler banned Australia, which is a bit surprising. I don't know if anyone saw.
Not from. I understand why he banned Australia. He personally doesn't like playing against Australia, so that was kind of more of a personal ban.
All right. I like that. I like.
Remember on the podcast, he said if for the kill, kiss and marry, he would kill John Curtin because he hates him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's good. Hate is a powerful emotion, and it's the first step to the dark side. So it's good. Moy banned Russia. Yes. Obviously,
it was the first step.
You have to ban the best civ in the game, right? Arguably,
someone had to do it. I didn't want to give him to Foibles. He would have taken it for sure. Someone has to ban him.
Yeah, it's true. Bose banned Ethiopia. That was a bit of a surprise. I think people just forgot about Ethiopia.
That's a good ban. That's a really good ban.
Yeah, it is a good ban. Obviously, Van Bradley can't risk that French Eleanor would get banned. I also officially changed the spelling of his name, and he no longer can carry the E in his name. I might give it back to him. I don't know. We'll see.
Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley.
I hope someone clipped that to send that to him because he mentioned that in his analysis.
Yeah, he's like, he spelled my name wrong.
I know. No E for you. Nystagmus banned Alexander of Macedon.
Good ban.
Of Macedonia, yeah, good ban. And then Foibles banned Korea, which I get, but like I don't know, Korea's like very easy to kill early on. But yeah, I guess if you don't get killed, they get pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing a card though, so I'm not sure. Whoever I didn't say. So I said I am missing
myself.
I'm missing TV. Onspot.
He banned. Oh shoot! Who did he ban? I don't remember. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna lose cameras for a second. It's in a chat. Give me a moment. You guys are gonna see a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna copy and paste it into our Discord so that we can see it. Here we go. All right. Onspot banned Zulu.
Yeah.
It's
in chat, so you don't have to look for your card.
Okay, I'll stop looking for it.
Yeah, you can just look at our Discord chat.
So
go ahead.
So yeah, those are our bans. They couldn't be chosen, and then we went from there and we did a snaking draft. So it was like Foibles on one end, and then on the far end, I think was Bose. Was Bose number 9? Yeah. So everyone chose one civ that they wanted to play, and then when it got to number 9, they chose 2 civs. So they got their first pick, and then they got their second pick, and it went backwards So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And then we did one. And then by the end of it, we each had 3 civilizations. And we knew that going into this, we were going to turn this into a community event. So we each have our 3 civilizations. And now you, the community, get to vote on your favorite civs that you'd like to see us play. Or which civs that you just want to see that you think that we'd be great with. So everyone got 1 free vote. And then you could also, if you want, make a donation for, I think, $3, you got an extra vote.
$2
or for $5
you get $2 you get 1 vote.
1 vote, or for 5 you get 3.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that's like an extra thing you guys can do. You can that's you go to your specific host that you want to vote for, and we add it all up. And I think we'll probably close this a week beforehand. I think.
Why don't we know? We'll close it You want to close it like 3 days before? Like
maybe 3 days. Yeah, just because we got to get people mentally prepared. But they can, like, if you look at these results, you can see that it's very heavily favoring. Some of us are very heavily favoring. Some of us have.
Don't look at no. We're not allowed to release the results yet. We can't. That's not public information. That's an NDA agreement. You cannot release that.
So why don't we get back to the analysis?
Yes,
part
please.
of this segment.
So let's go.
We can go down like the road first for foibles, right?
Yeah,
so first pick overall. Rome was picked first overall.
Love the pick.
Draft.
Love it. Versatile. The legions
versatile
are incredible.
Civ,
yeah, man. This is I thought this was a great pick. Like, this is not a no-brainer. Like, there's so many different options you could have had for the first overall pick. It's kind of just like pick your bread and butter. Like, there's no limitations other than the bans. And he picked Rome, which is.
It's like everyone's civ they pick when they first pick up the game, usually. So yeah, no problem with that pick at all. Like I can't see any other real pick. I would have if I was picking first, I would have picked Rome, to be honest. They are one of my favorite civs to play anyway.
Yeah.
So 100 Games next then picks Babylon, which I get.
So crazy that it went second overall though. Like, that was interesting.
And he's in chat right now, so he'll
I know, but like, it's fresh, it's new. Like, you know, I understand it can be broken, right? Like, if you play it really, really well, it's just it's this like it's map dependent one, because if you don't have any like resources around you, like iron, you can't get iron working, because then like you can't build an iron mine, and you're gonna take forever to research that, and that ruins so much of your plan. And then, you know, the production costs once you build up your military, or the gold cost is tough. Like, that is a tough civ to play.
Now, I think that each of the members of the Civ Give came in with 2 distinct mentalities when it came to when they were drafting, right? And I'm bringing this up now because it's going to come up later as we go through everyone else's picks, right?
Okay.
Some people very clearly came in with a very clear strategy in order to maximize their chances of winning.
Yeah.
Van Bradley. As a joke, but about 50-50, right? The other 50%, I think, honestly picked civs they just thought would be fun to play, or fun to see at the actual event, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that honestly that, and Sarge can correct me in chat right now if he wants, is Babylon's a fun civ to watch play, right? Like, if you're watching someone play Babylon, like, they just do a lot of crazy stuff. And they're completely different than almost every other civ in the game. So I applaud that pick, actually. First, second overall, go Babylon. And so I'm happy with that pick, actually. I'm like, yes, because if Babylon's in the game, that's just like, I'm sower of chaos, right?
We know when we get to your picks, we know, we understand.
And so yeah, I'm happy with that pick, to be honest. Yeah,
I'm happy it's in the game too. Like, I thought it was gonna get picked up for sure. I just didn't think it'd go second overall. Like, I wouldn't put it that high. That's a personal note. I don't know.
Yeah. Then Pembroke Butler picks Germany. Unsurprising, Germany in the top 5.
Great civ.
Very powerful civ. Very versatile civilization.
Especially for Peppermint Butler. Although, with someone of his caliber, I'm surprised he didn't pick Japan. But I do know that Germany is one of his favorite civs, and like, his game style, he district plans. This guy is a master planner. Like, he's gonna have so many Hanzas with such good adjacency bonuses. He's also gonna have a really good trade, because part of that adjacency bonus is having commercial hubs next to the Hanzas. So his civilization is gonna be bumping. Like, The thing is, with his other two picks, once we get to it, it's so
Yeah.
crazy because you want him to play Germany, and that's terrifying. That's the hard part to really like.
Germany
sink
would
in.
probably be the most. He'd be the most predictable if he was playing Germany, with like with the play
I
style, right? Whereas the other
guess.
two, so the next one for on spot. So this is the one I think is like the one that we missed the ban.
Yeah. Well,
That
you only have 9
when
bans, right? So like,
I know,
one
but
of them's
like
gonna slip through.
I know, but when it comes to some of the ones that we did ban versus like honestly, I'd rather have banned Catherine than
He
the
picked
person I
he
banned.
picked the Black Queen, Catherine. Okay,
Yeah.
you forgot to mention that.
I'm just like, so I think that was like one that slipped under the radar, and he noticed it as soon as it was his turn to pick, because you
Well-
could tell it was like on the top of his list. He was like, I pick.
So this is a civ that is banned almost 100% of the time in the CPL because it is so powerful. It is widely known among that community, that multiplayer community, because they're aware of her strength as one of the most domination civilizations in the game. Better than Gran Colombia, better than Mongolia, better than any other civilization. Why, you might ask? Because I asked why, because I'm like, they're not particularly good. It's their early spy bonus. And the fact that they have diplomatic visibility over everybody immediately gives them an automatic +3 combat strength to every single one of their units at all points of the game until somebody catches up in diplomatic visibility. But since they also get the early spy, that is almost not possible. So if you're fighting the same era as Catherine the Black Queen, if you're fighting warrior versus warrior or musketman versus musketman, she's gonna win every time. That's why she's so powerful. Sorry for the rant.
Good.
Anyway, yeah, I'm scared.
Moving
I'm
on.
super
So
scared.
Moy's first pick. So first person.
Yeah.
It's funny how we all spawned the low draft picks, right? We're like the 3 worst players in the entire
Yeah.
game. We got the low draft picks.
Clearly.
That's how you know we didn't rig it.
Yeah, I know, right? Can I
Um,
introduce who I picked? Can I do it? And can I talk
go
about
for it.
why I picked it, and then you guys can talk about why you picked your civs? I feel like that's fair,
go for it.
right? All right.
Yeah.
For the first overall pick of the Moy draft, okay, so actually 5th overall, but the first pick of Moy was the one and only Bull Moose Teddy. Oh yeah, baby. When you mess with the bull, you're gonna get the moose. That's the saying that I'm bringing into the Civ Give. Deal with it. It's gonna be there. I don't care how bad it is. I picked Bull Moose Teddy because he is so strong with the culture game and with the science game, by having plus science and plus culture on his tiles that have breathtaking appeal next to mountains and forest. He's more likely to spawn next to breathtaking tiles with mountains and forest as well, which is what I love. So I can really take his science or his culture game into the future. He gets a plus combat strength on his own continent, so he can defend against his continent, or he can take over his continent depending on how that situation goes. He's super versatile. I love this pick. I freaking love Bull Moose Teddy, and by golly gee, vote for Bull Moose Teddy for me, please. I would love that. That's okay.
How do you really feel?
I
Tell me how you really
feel dead
feel.
inside. Thanks for asking us, Stagmus.
Also, you said that Carl's in the thing. Thank you, Carl, for resubbing to your 2nd month streak for T-Run sub.
Thanks, Carl. How you doing, buddy? Okay.
Carl!
Zozo.
So, who did you pick for your first draft?
All of mine are like, I think, weak civs compared to like all these god civs, Germany and Catherine. So I chose Gull. I really liked the Gull. I thought they were a lot of fun. I thought that they were actually super versatile, and I love everything about them. So yeah, here if I'm the Gull, I hope I'm in a hilly area, and I will play military, and then whatever comes at me, we'll see.
Well, the thing
So,
with the goal,
yeah.
they're good at defense at least, right? So you can kind
They're
of just turtle
super
in.
great.
Yeah.
They're super great at turtling, and I had a feeling there's going to be some aggression this game. And like I just find they build up really nicely into whatever strategy you end up going with. So yeah, the Gull of it all. Plus, most of the new civs have all been banned, so like we had to have what was left represented, because I think we got I got 2 of them.
Byzantium was banned, and then
Byzantium got
Bolivar was
banned,
banned, and Menelik,
and
Ethiopia was
Menelik
banned.
got banned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so like half of
Yeah.
the new
So-
civs. Yeah.
half of the new ones are all gone. So yeah, we'll see if the Gull can see me through to victory. They'll be fun though. That's the key. Is I just had so much fun playing the Gull that if I'm gonna play a big long game of Civ, I want to have lots of fun.
I'm with you. They were fun when I played them last week. Unlike 2 weeks ago when I had zero fun. Stupid Babylon. Go ahead.
Question nights, man. Good unit. So
Terrible.
and so Van Bradley chose for his first pick Japan. So Van Bradley, if you can check out his video as well. He kind of talked about his picks and his strategy and stuff. So we can kind of, not we can actually do with some authority because he did kind of admit like his strategy, right? So his strategy was, and it was a good strategy.
It's a very good strategy. I agree. I'm jealous of it. Yeah.
I'm going to pick all the civs that are the least susceptible to poor start locations because he knew that we weren't going to re-roll, right? So we can't just go re-roll. And so he was just saying, I'm going to pick civs that if I spawn near tundra and I'm not like on a tundra civ or something like that, or if I spawn near coast, or if I spawn like just something that's not as susceptible to that. And so Japan he picks. So that's a really good pick for that because one, if they spawn near coast, they are invulnerable to hurricanes. And so, which is super powerful. I learned that the awesome way when I played them in our game. And so, especially when the hurricane hit me and then it hit Zoe and killed like half his units.
Oh God, that was a terrible hurricane.
And so that
I
was
still remember the hurricane of 1261.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was, and they're really versatile civilizations.
They're good. Yeah. Their best ability. I'll go quick. Their best ability by far, the fact that all of their districts get +1 when they're beside another district is insane. You have a district in the middle +9 or +8. No, how many sides are in a freaking +6?
It's a hexagon.
Yeah.
So
+6. All right. I'm gonna walk out of here. So you can take over. Okay. All right.
6 sides.
Yeah.
So great pick.
Yeah. I like that. Like a lot of civs will have like an era. Like the Byzantium or like they're medieval going into Renaissance. That's their time. That's when they go. With Japan, I find it staggered, and they're great early, and then they get a big boost medieval. They get samurai really fast. You can get samurai, and then you get a big boost
too.
when you get your. I call it the robot factory, but when you get your electronic, okay, which again you get kind of earlier, so they get like these staggered big boosts, and then their overall capacity for their districts and stuff like that snowballs. So I like Japan a lot for that staggered awesomeness.
And then nystagmus. Let's take us
so
through
for
your
my
first pick.
one pick. So I ended up picking the Aztecs as my first pick. Now in retrospect, if I was trying to go to buy like civs I've played before and I have a lot more experience with, I probably should have picked Cyrus. If I'm going back in time, but
okay.
My goal into this draft was I was just gonna pick like complete off the wall things. One, I wanted like the reactions during the recorded Civ draft to be kind of awesome, just me picking like random like crazy stuff that no one really expected me to pick. Second, I don't think anyone really expects me to be like a huge warmonger. I know that I know it's a meme, but like
although
I'm not really
recently, I don't know about that.
And so I just chose
getting aggressive. He's been getting aggressive.
He has.
And so the other thing too is with the other players at the Civ Give, first of all, I'm arguably the worst player. I'm tier like double F minus.
We don't believe in tier listing in the Civ show. Don't worry about it.
And so I wanted to pick a Civ that where if someone was going to try to I'd be like low hanging fruit.
Tell that to foibles.
Ooh.
So I'd be like low hanging fruit, right? So I wanted to pick a Civ that would be something that people would leave me alone in the early game, right? Because it's not like a great idea to pick on me. And so it's one of those kind of things too, right? Okay. So that was my thought process behind that pick. Also, just to be like, yeah, I'm gonna pick the Aztecs. You all think I'm gonna pick these other civs? I'm gonna pick the Aztecs. So
If you're beside Foibles, will you attack him again?
don't bully Foibles. Stop it. You're so mean. The
bully
first
Hey.
guest
anybody.
we ever have on the show, and he gets
It was our first guest, and
bulldozed.
he got bold. And that wasn't me. I didn't do that. That was the Stagmas that did it. Okay,
I know.
it was the Stag. They've got the history. All right,
Oh,
that wasn't
man.
me. All right, like Foible's got to remember that the Stag's he's got a mean streak in him. Got to look out. Okay,
Okay,
so
I'm going to be
hopefully they're
100%
not
honest. When
beside
I
each
declared
other.
war on foibles, I didn't expect it to go that well.
It went
Impies,
great.
man. The
You like
impies.
raised cities and
So
captured cities.
good. So
Same with when I attacked Moy. I didn't expect to be able to take over cities in one turn. I didn't expect Questy Knights. I knew they were good. I was like, I'm going to try out the Questy Knights, see what they do in the field. And
That
on
game
paper,
was terrible.
Nice.
on
Nightmares.
paper, they're awesome. But
That
let's see
game
how
was
awesome they are in
terrible.
real life. And I just like crushed all of his units.
Oh my god.
I still just have dreams about that. It's terrifying. Just
I'm not worried at all. 3 turns later, capital falls. What?
100 strength
Wonder
Tagmas.
destroyed.
What is happening?
What?
I just wanted Moy at one time to be like, why do I even build walls?
Why did I build walls? I don't know. Useless. Oh,
Right. And
man.
so that going on to the last number 9, Bose. So for his first pick, before he got to pick 2 in a row, goes for the Kree with Poundmaker.
Good choice.
Which
Good
I think
choice.
that I think that's also a personal favorite civ for him too.
Yeah,
right?
it's in his top 5. It's the only non-war civ in his top 5. Believe it or not.
Yeah. And so I think that was kind of also a soft spot on Bose's part.
Yeah.
That's just that Civ has a
It's
soft
perfect.
spot for him.
It's perfect for the situation. Although, if we play with the rules that we're going to be using, it's a little less advantageous because he can't have all the alliances.
True.
I guess we're going to be using those CPO rules. So he can only maintain 2 alliances. So that's going to be a detriment if he ends up being Poundmaker. But yeah,
he still has the Mecha Wops. Like, those are incredible.
yeah. Well, if you set him up right, if you can set him up right, I had such a hard time last time because I don't think I fully appreciated what they're capable of.
Okay.
Right, but he obviously would know what he's doing. So, and any civ that gets you a free trader is fantastic.
And then his second pick, predictable, like pretty good civ that was left in the game at the time, Cyrus.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
This is a Bose civ. This is like when he picks Cyrus, I'm like, yep, that's Bose. Like 100%. He's gonna go to war with people.
I'd be
His immortals
I'd be
are gonna
scared if I was
scary. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
If I spawn next to him, I'm gonna be pretty scared. Which is why I picked my first 2 civs. My first 2 civs were basically like, okay, I'm gonna try to guarantee myself to get into the mid game here. That's what I'm gonna try to do. And so in Canada, I have guaranteed myself I will stay in the game for at least 10 turns.
So who was your second pick? Can you say it one more time with a little more emphasis?
Canada.
To it? Okay, thank you.
Canada.
Canada,
Yeah, Canada.
Laurier.
Yeah, Laurier.
Just so that you can
so-
kind of get to the mid game. Is that what you said? Try
Yeah.
to get yourself to the mid game.
No
was
one
the only
expects
reason?
Canada. No one expects Canada. Also, you know,
It's like the butterfly.
like I said, we were talking about before. I think this whole like tier list saying that Canada is like this horrible civ and stuff like that. It all depends on your playstyle, right? You know, they're not a domination civ and they're not like an early culture civ, but they have a lot of advantages that kind of run all game, right? People will say like it's an automatic detriment that they can't take out city states. I don't really agree with that necessarily. It gives you less flexibility because you can't just take over city states, but it allows you to have more like there are other ways of using that to your advantage. You can use a lot of protectorate wars, right? To your advantage, especially if you're friends with a lot of the city states, and the ability that someone can't just mass units across. Like I can see as long as I maintain good diplomatic visibility across the game, right? Anything that happens to me will be kind of heads up, right? And in a game like where everyone's trying to make sure that we're not falling behind and not taking too long and stuff like that, everyone says, yeah, all I do is as soon as I meet you, I keep denouncing you. I don't know, like you're gonna forget to do that.
You do,
right?
you do.
Yeah,
It's gonna, and especially if it's me playing Canada, you're not gonna see me as a threat, so you're not gonna see it as something that you necessarily have to keep me denounced in order to like hurt me, right? And so it's gonna be low on someone's list of priorities to maintain when they have to make all their turns, right? So I don't think people are gonna maintain their denunciations of me throughout the game.
And if you get your start, like Canada can be a pretty awesome religious civ, if you get a good tundra start.
Yes. Dance of the Aurora, work ethic, and then you're rolling, baby. Get those wonders out there. St. Basil's, you got Hermitage. You just turn into a culture powerhouse. Canada's not bad if you can get the ball rolling. Then again, any civ's not bad when you can get the ball rolling.
And I know that Van Bradley, I know he did, like and I'm going to try to explain it too, because he was in his YouTube video was kind of saying like he doesn't really get it, like my pick and stuff, right? And he talked about like it's too late in the game for culture victory. I'm like, one thing we forgot though is that the Civ Give is supposed to go on for a long time. It's going to go into the late game.
It's like a 7-8 hour game, yeah.
Yeah.
8-hour game.
I think that late culture victory is in play. Like we always think that like, oh, we're only going to play for like 4 or 5 hours. There's no way we're going to get to the late game. I think that's something that's going to happen.
But you got to survive to the late game, which I think that was his argument, is that they get online too slow. I think that was what he was trying to say. Not necessarily that the game wouldn't last that long, but the fact that you might not last that long into the game. That was his.
It was more of a personal attack and not one.
I figured that a lot of the other civs that were picked at the time, a lot of people with warmonger civs and stuff like that, like I wouldn't be like, Canada is not like a priority to take out. You would want to take out the other warmonger civs that are competing for that space. And let's face it, if I have Canada, no one really sees me as a threat, to be honest, right? Like
that's true. You got kind of a harmless feature kindness about you that like why
yeah, just I'm like about you. Yeah, he has great words to say.
And you're the type of civ player that like if somebody did attack you, other people would be like, whoa, hey, wait a second there, and they would probably come to your defense.
Let's move to the next picks here. Let's move on to the next picks.
Pericles. Van Bradley chose Pericles as the second safe pick. After playing them, like, yeah, they're good.
They're good.
Especially with Owls of Minerva, you get all of those city-states. I had, like, all the city-states were my friends. And they give you I think it's a 5% culture bonus.
Correct, yes.
And then, like, there's a bunch of other ways that you can pump up that bonus of if there's Cicerone to you. Yeah, and then they're just the Greeks. You know, the Greeks get that wild card government policy, which is super useful. And they got lots of culture, and their culture and war. Their phalanx, you get that super quick, and it's a tough unit to contend with.
Oh, the legions. So, the legions. No, not legions. They're not called Spartans. Spartans.
Hoplites.
That's it. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
They get the ability called the phalanx. That's
phalanx is their fighting style.
If they're side by side, they get so they're like kind of a counter to Gull, right? Because they're getting the same, I think, a better bonus.
To a point, but Gull also gets the bonus because they're beside them. Yeah,
and they get it for like
enemies beside them, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So, what was your?
But anyways,
Greece, Mali. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
Damn.
Oh, so me. So anyways, Greece is great. Mali. So I don't know why. I think I got some guff for choosing Mali. I'm like, what? This is like one of my favorite civs in this game is Mali. They're a fantastic civilization. Yeah, yes, they have. If you don't start beside desert, you lose their hugest advantage. Yes, this is true. And I really, really hope that I start by desert. If I don't, there are solutions, especially because we're using the secret societies. There are solutions if I don't start beside. It just means I'm not perhaps playing the religious game. I might be playing more of a financial domination game. And that's likely what I'll do if I don't. Well, I don't want to tip my hit cards or anything. So anyways, lots of money, lots of faith. I love the Mali, especially if I can get a city surrounded by desert turn one. We'll see.
To be fair, the person who did say that was Van Bradley, which his strategy was the complete opposite, to pick civs that weren't spawn dependent. So for him, it didn't make sense, right? But like, it's a fine
he's just mad that I took his E away and I'm not giving it back. So
exactly, yeah. For my second pick, this one I grabbed it out of randomness. I still had people on my list, and this one was not on my list. But I know how strong that they can be Hungary, by the way. I chose Hungary and Matthias. With their Black Army, they get a plus bonus for every levied unit beside them. They get a bonus to the combat strength for levied units, and then if you pair that up with Foreign Ministry, it's only half of the cost to levy these militaries, and so like I don't have to build a military. I can just buy one instead and only build black armies, and then they get the Hussar later, which is a really strong unit. It's just because kind of on a whim. I wanted to pick it. They were good at building districts as well across rivers. It's half of the production costs, which is incredible because they spawn near rivers. They spawn near tons of rivers, right? With respect to the Danby River that runs right through Hungary. And I don't know. I just thought this was a good pick. And I sort of regret it. But at the same time, I don't. I tried to play a game with him the other day on Deity, and I got my ass handed to me. But you know what? Whatever, man. Like, this is a tough civ to execute, but at least if I can execute it well, maybe I'll have a good time. That's my reasoning behind it. I got none. I don't know. That's it.
I don't know. I think they're pretty decent.
They're decent.
Well,
they're not like great. They're decent.
And their goodness or badness, I think, will depend on your opponents and how many city-states are in the game, right?
I have a plan, though. I do have a plan of how I can finagle and make sure I have the ones I need. We'll see. We'll see if I get them. If I get them, then let's see if I can execute it. So,
Now Mongolia, obviously, somebody's got to take a good old Mongolia. So OnSpot's next pick was Mongolia.
Yeah.
Which Mongolia is it's always been a terrifying civ. And in the hands of OnSpot, you almost hope, well, what's he picking last? Please don't be either of these. Don't be Catherine.
Yeah, OnSpot picking two military civs. Two military civs is like the scariest thing to me.
That's
my
the
God.
rest of us have to have a serious, guys, are we gonna band together or just let it happen?
Yeah, that one was like, whoa. We don't need to talk about them. I think everybody knows how good Mongolia is. Peppermint Butler after that picking Scythia, Tamarius. I know, Zoe, you don't like Scythia. Does that still stand? Do you still not like Scythia?
I thought they were kind of overrated. I thought that they're too all their stuff is front loaded in the classical ancient classical era, and then I just found wasn't that great after that. It's just too much stuff there. It's not that they're not good. I don't know. I kind of find them boring. I found that their abilities aren't game spanning. They're not going to be there for the entire time. So yeah, that's just me.
I think you're thinking of old Scythia, new Scythia. Every light horse is doubled, every single one. So horsemen, and then also their special horsemen, but also even coursers or cavalry, whatever the light cavalry.
Oh, so even tanks,
cavalry, yeah.
No, not tanks, but helicopters. Helicopters is light cavalry, so they get double helicopters. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see. It's not that they're not strong. It's I just found them boring.
That's fair.
I like a little snap in my civ.
Fast moving army though.
All right, let's keep going because we're running out of time. Let's keep going.
We are.
Mapuche
from 100 games, 100 days. So that's going to be interesting. Especially I think with Mapuche and Void Singers would be really fun. Maybe vampires, but Void Singers in particular, you can really crazy win a fight without attacking a city at all. Because every one of their guys that gets killed is going to lower the loyalty, and then a couple cultists come in there, and that's it. You could do that to a capital. You could have a capital get flipped. So if he does it right, just go on a raiding spree, and then have the cultists come in praising Cthulhu. We could see a fun little snowball coming from our Australian buddy there.
Yeah.
And then Foibles took Sweden.
Oh, I was so mad when you picked this. I was so mad.
Sweden.
Oh my God.
Sweden's probably one of the few civs, not that I know a lot about culture victory, one of the few civs that can do a fairly fast culture victory, right?
Yeah.
Because all their work are automatically
themed, auto-themed,
right?
Oh, yeah, so good.
And again, I think even with Void Singers, you can get pretty insane with your culture, and your Cthulhu gives you a bunch of relics, right?
Yeah.
Those aren't theming things, but it all adds up. And then
their anti-cavalry is really good. That's why I was
Yes,
mad.
it's a flank and shot replacement, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's
So
called,
it's
but
like
it's
a
it's like
perfect,
it's one of the strongest units in the game. Yeah, it's really
yeah,
incredible.
perfect timing because there's so few anti-cavalry, right? And
Yeah.
there's tons of cavalry.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, Sweden will be interesting. I think they're science. Are they science and culture?
No, just culture
No,
and culture.
just culture, and culture.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. And then he went
Diplomatic,
Indonesia,
sorry.
who I have, a place of rage in my heart for Indonesia because I was so unstoppable once as the British Empire, and then Indonesia came in and said,
I think this is an incredible pick. Why? There's no
Yeah.
other coastal spoiler alert. There's no other coastal civ in the game.
Yeah,
I know we're playing Pangea, but
And a little
he's
bit.
some people are gonna have to spawn on the coast, and if he plays Indonesia, for sure is gonna spawn on the coast. And the fact that we're playing Pangea, he only has to really protect one of his sides from land, and then that's it. And then since it's the only naval one, he's gonna have boats, and he's gonna
Now-
dominate the sea.
I remember Pangea's not always like a big circular continent.
True.
Pangea can be like snaking and like where there are these little where only one piece of land connects these areas together. So I've had some good navy fights in a Pangea game, but yes, he is the only naval civ.
Yeah.
So
I like this pick.
hopefully
Yeah.
he doesn't start in the middle of the land. And hopefully I start in the middle of a giant desert. So we got some hopes.
All right, let's talk about this next pick.
Tamar, obviously, I don't know. That's a
Georgia,
joke, right?
baby. Georgia,
That's a joke.
baby.
It was a
100
joke.
games,
That's-
100 days. Oh.
Like obviously this is what's going to win the vote. Obviously,
Vote
that's
for
what's gonna
Georgia.
win.
Everybody here needs to vote for Georgia. Vote for Georgia. Protect our people. Low
Butler.
key. No, hold on. Low key.
Yeah.
I think Georgia is actually a fantastic pick because Secret Societies is on. If he gets Void Singers, then he's totally going to be okay. He can defend himself totally fine. He can turtle, just build faith, and he'll have science, he'll have culture, he'll have faith, and he's going to be totally fine. I actually think this was a good pick. As much as I like to meme about it, I think that was a good pick.
And you know what? I haven't been
Georgia's
Georgia.
turned into such a meme that I'm not even sure if I believe
Yeah. I don't even know. I'd have to be Georgia. Yeah, I haven't been Georgia in so long. Like I think when we did the dumpster fire game, was I
Yeah.
Georgia?
I
Maybe.
thought I
I
was
don't think I
Georgia.
I don't know if I've been Georgia on the Civ show. So a long time ago. If I did, it was like in March, like when we started.
Yeah.
Okay. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Peppermint Butler, he went with the Ottomans. Very good pick.
Every one of his civs is like super scary, man.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Dude, this guy has such a good draft.
Like
they've got a little of everything. The Ottoman Empire, and like not like Poland, like where it's totally unrelated. There's like very good for building an empire. He's even got some navy in there, and like those janissaries, like the fact that
units, right?
They
Like
get two. They get the Janissary, and then they also get their crazy boat. I think it captures boats, right? But their Janissary, if you upgrade your warriors to the Janissary, obviously it's already been built, so you don't lose the population because they are an insanely powerful unit for when you get them. However, if you build them in a city, you lose a population, right? So that's sort of the trade-off. But if you're smart, you've got a bunch of swordmen that you're ready or warriors to upgrade into them. And they can just roll over. And then they've got their cool governor, which is like war and peace. You can send them to allies to bolster attack lines and stuff. So they're neat. I'll do, and then on spot Scotland.
Love it.
Like
love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Please vote for Scotland because I don't want to have to deal with Black Queen or Mongolia. For the love of goodness, play for Scotland. Oh my god.
And like, Scotland got the little bit of a boost lately.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. And I don't know, like with the Void Singers, that and their ecstatic bonus, that ramps up. They're kind of like a little Ethiopia with a golf course.
If anyone knows how to play Scotland, it would be on spot. And so I'm kind of looking forward to see if he does play Scotland, how he is going to win. I'm gonna make that clear. I think
Moy, tell us about Congo.
Oh, dude, I love the Congo. They're actually one of my favorite civs, which is really weird because I never really play them that often because, like, I feel like they're so easy. So they have this really awesome, like, early neighborhood that you can build these massive population cities, and I love that about them, and I think that's fantastic. They don't get a religion, and that's part of the reason why I picked them, is because I want Congo, I want this civilization, if they are picked, to be a middle battleground for all of the religions to just go to freaking throw lightning bolts at each other in my land. Like, I want my land to be basically the start of military war, but not towards me. Just the fact that people are fighting over religion in my land, and then they get conflict. That's the idea behind picking a Congo. I know I'm saying it out loud now, but even if I do say it out loud now, it's probably still going to happen. So it doesn't really matter. That was the reason why I picked Congo. I wanted to create my own chaos, and that's how I thought I can create my own chaos.
Throw in your reliquaries, and probably Void Singers, I'd imagine, would be their go-to. But they're all about works, right? I think they already start off fantastic. Your great works give you food or something like that?
No, relics, and specific artworks. I think it's like religious artworks, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah.
But Cthulhu relics would give you...
They would give me food and production, yeah.
So, yeah, obviously another Void Singer. I could see a lot of Void Singers getting thrown around. I went for my last pick with Lady Six Sky of the Maya. The Maya, again, I don't think they're a very strong Civ, but they're super fun. I like the theme of the tight-knit empire. Their science is, I don't know, arguably one of the best in the game, right? Maybe
the good spawn, yeah.
Yeah, if you got it right. And then they're very defensive. Like, it's a tight-knit defensive Civ. Their early archer is super awesome. I'm looking forward to, like, it'll be a challenge, and like I'll be a middle power for sure. And I really hope I don't start next to a coast if I end up being them.
Someone has to, and there's only one coastal Civ. You might.
I know.
You might.
all of my civs, they would be the Van Bradley opposite, because even the Gull have some dependence. They need those hills. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So all of this is going to be kind of starting position dependent.
Yeah, I think his exact words were high risk, high reward.
Yeah, and I agree. That is exactly your play style too. So I'm like, wow, yeah, he nailed it.
Yeah.
And then Van Bradley picks Cleopatra. Still along that same kind of line. Very safe Civ to pick. And so.
I thought it wasn't. I thought you needed to spawn in desert as Cleopatra, because I thought Sphinxes can only be built on desert. Am I wrong?
I don't know about the Sphinx. I think the Sphinx got a bit changed. You might be right about the Sphinx, but I know, like, it's so good to have trade with them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're discouraged to go to war.
You get better trade, and they get benefit from trading with them. So it's like you want to trade with them, but you don't want to trade with them at the same time. It's like very tough to choose between that. Yeah, I agree. Don't worry about the Sphinx. Don't worry about it. The Sagmus, take us through your last pick here.
It can actually, Sphinx can be built on any land tile.
Okay.
Boom.
All right, cool. Right on.
So I picked English Eleanor.
Yeah.
Literally the only reason I did that was to throw gasoline onto a fire. And so I know that Van Bradley did say, and you can see that we chatted in his YouTube comments too, that if I end up being English Eleanor, he is going to see to it personally that I'm eliminated from the game.
Vote Eleanor.
Oh man.
Vote early and vote often.
Well, you can only vote once, but you can pay $2 to vote for an extra one, and three votes for $5. I think it's pretty.
His reaction in his YouTube video when he mentioned that pick was priceless. Like, he just looks at the camera and he's like, "Eleanor is in this game." Yeah,
I'm happy you picked it, man. I'm so happy that someone had the balls to pick it, and thanks for having the balls, dude.
I think all my picks are all over the place. So.
And then speaking of balls, Bose chose Corgo.
Yeah.
Who's the other Greek, and she's got balls. Like, she is the more militant of the two. So that would be he, like, all of Bose's, like, any of those are good. He's set.
Same with PB. Every single one of his is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, it's crazy. Oh.
All in all, like, CivGive, this is going to be really, really interesting. Like, we can't stress enough. Get out there, vote. Everyone gets a free vote. So if you're listening to this right now, You know, join. You can come on our Twitch. There's all sorts of places to find the extra
It'll
life.
be in the show notes if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple. If you're listening to us on YouTube, it'll also be in the description of the YouTube video.
And yeah, you can make that extra donation to any of the hosts and do an extra vote, extra 3 votes. Hell, you could do an extra 10 votes if you really felt needed. And it all goes to a great cause. So we really, really encourage. We want to have like 250 votes, okay, for this by the time the Civ Give comes. So please check it out. And vote.
Now, guys, our stream title is Big Announcement.
Oh,
I can't help.
Who's gonna do it? Okay, who's gonna do it between the three of
That
us?
we
That's
haven't
the real
made
question.
an announcement yet. We made a bunch of small announcements and stuff, but we haven't really talked about it.
Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it?
You know, I think Moy, honestly, you deserve to break the news to everybody.
Okay. Yes.
You're the one who kind of like did this whole thing.
Okay. Wait. Borderline. Does someone have a kid? Yes, but that's not the big announcement.
So that's not the big announcement. Okay. Well, okay. The medium announcement is
no, don't play that. Don't play that. Don't play that because we don't want to get DMCA'd. Don't play that. Don't play it. Don't play it. Don't play it. Don't play it. We don't want to get muted on our VOD. Don't play music right now.
All right. I just
Yeah.
listen to music.
But yeah.
Turn it off,
Yeah,
please.
so-
Okay.
It's off. It's off. Calm down.
Imagine we got muted and then no one can hear the announcement. Can you imagine that, Zoe? You don't want to do that.
I
Sorry,
can imagine
Nystagmus.
that.
Sorry.
No, well, the medium announcement would be that the kid is actually going to be coming home, right? So tomorrow, I am a new dad. So tomorrow the baby gets discharged from the hospital. So I am excited about that. But that's not the big announcement.
But
Moy has
screw
the-
that announcement. Forget. No, I'm kidding. Congratulations, Nystagmus. Our big announcement. We've been holding this off for weeks, and I've been trying to not tell anybody, and I've been suffering internally because I am just such a gossip, and I need to tell everybody everything. We have a wonderful guest ready for the podcast. It's going to be released on December 17th. He is a massive member of the Civilization community. You may know him better as the creator and artist of Baba Yetu and the Dream of Flight. We have Christopher Tin as a special guest on the TheCivShow podcast that will be live on December 17th. If you have any questions for Christopher Tin that are Civ related, that are music related, that is his career related, please submit them in our Discord, in the YouTube comments, anywhere, because that is the only time that you're gonna be able to ask him whatever you want. We are so excited to have this opportunity to speak with Christopher Tin, and yeah,
Make sure he sings it.
Sure he sings it. Yeah. Well, we'll get him to sing Baba. He'll be great. He might know all the words. Who knows?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure, like, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But we're so excited to have him on. I can't believe that we actually did have him on. We as a joke tweeted out, "Hey, he should be on our podcast," and he responded. And when we got the connections, and now he's gonna be on December 17th. So tune into that.
I don't think it's that crazy though, because we've been slowly cultivating, on Twitter. We've been sharing, and he's been liking and commenting on a couple of things that we've done. So it's good though, because boys, it means we've made it. Here we are. We've got the writer of the opening of Civ 4, which iconic for me. I think for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first video game music score to win a Grammy. It's featured in the Guinness Book of World Records, in fact, because of that as well. It's been played at a peace negotiation in I don't remember where it was, but some sort of peace negotiation, and then people have been saying that it should be the anthem essentially for the United Nations, and it's an incredible opportunity that he's going to be on the show. So
Video Games Live, Tommy Tallarico did an amazing rendition of Baba Yetu. It's just great song, and then Christopher Tin's also done a lot of other stuff. He's not just that. And yeah, we're going to talk about how music sort of defines the video game, right? It really makes the game. And a bunch of other stuff too. So, but yeah, if you guys have questions that you want us to bring forward, get them to us, and we'll get them to him. That's December 17th, I believe you said.
So we are I'm going to say it now. We are pre-recording that podcast, and we are going to be airing it on the 17th. So don't save your questions for when that goes live, because that's not going to be a live podcast. We're
not going to help you there.
We're going to be
it won't help.
putting it live on Twitch, but it is not going to be a live podcast. So get the questions in now, or else you're not going to get an opportunity to get it in. Are we good? Are we gonna wrap it up now?
I think we're good. We got to wrap it up, boy. We had so much to talk about today, and and Van Bradley's not even here to defend his E, which he'll never get back. So yeah,
Speaking
good
of
show.
E, you should follow us on the Twitter.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. At TheCivShow, we post really, really good updates. If you're on our Twitter, you would have known that maybe we got Christopher Tin on our podcast, because he literally said it on Twitter that he wanted to come on the show. So you should follow us on Twitter. We post good memes, we post good roasts, and all your information for the Civ Show and Civilization will be on Twitter. I actually want to add something. Our ultimate goal for the Civ Show podcast is to, I want to say this out loud so that we're held responsible for this, is to get Sid Meier as a guest on the podcast. We want Sid Meier to be in that fourth box right there. There. There.
Yeah, you got it there. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. And that's the ultimate goal, because I know there's some connections maybe in here that can maybe get us into his ears.
First you get the Tin, then you get the Carl, then you get the Sid. It's how it works. Right? Those are the stepping stones.
Okay.
Carl, you're next. Speaking of next, if you want the next step towards really getting to know the Civ Show community, check us out on our Discord. It is where we have a lot of our conversations throughout the week. We post all sorts of great combos on Civ, but also we talk about stuff that isn't Civ related whatsoever. Always a good laugh, very warm, welcoming community. So I definitely recommend checking us out on our Discord for that more intimate connection.
And if you want to check out some of our other content, we do have a YouTube channel. We do have a bunch of series going on right now. We have the Better Know a Leader series, which, as you know from the news I just gave here, a lot of stuff's been going on in my life. I will get that series back on track, promise. But the last one was Basil II from the Byzantium Empire. Raising Reviews is also another segment we have on the YouTube official series. Got 2 episodes going on right now. Moy also does a bunch of videos as well. He kind of has a more freedom. It's not like a set series that he has. He does more topical videos for us. And we also have a new series that just was just published recently called Civ from Different Perspectives. It's where the 3 of us all play the exact same game. You get to see how we make our decisions or lack thereof of the decisions when we make during the game. And so that's another series that we're going to go. It's really good. Check it out.
We ran out of time today. We were going to touch on it, so maybe we'll touch on it next time, because it is really good. Take a look. 30 minutes that you'll not want back, but
it is really good. And if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, hey, we're live on Twitch every Thursday and Sunday. Thursdays we're live with the podcast at 10:30 Eastern time, and on Sundays we're live with the actual Civ Show at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So give us a follow on Twitch at the Civ Show. Until basically Sunday, we're gonna have special guest on Spot TV again, as far as I'm concerned.
I think so.
So. And the game format's up in the air, so we're not going to announce that, but stay tuned on all of our social medias, and you will know what the game will be before Sunday. But until
give the audience what they want. 3-on-1. That's what they want. They want us 3 on Spot.
It's not the first
I don't
time
think us 3 getting beats going to prove anything, man.
All right, guys. Let's sign off. Have a good night. We'll see you on Sunday with On Spot TV.
Good night, everybody.
Later.